Ladies and gentlemen, Deja Vu here, bringing you the fourth set of STX Soul versus We Made Fox. Frozean on a 2-kill streak, looking to get his third here on Empire of the Sun. And We Made Fox, after losing Midas and Roro to Frozean, have said enough is enough, sending out the ace, sending out the big boy, sending out Big Boy Baby for this critical fourth game. Should Baby lose, they will be reduced to either Shine or Mind, or in a rare case of crazy stupidity, really, they might send out Pure. But probably Shine or Mind would bring up the last spot for We Made Fox. But Baby should be in. Baby should come away with a win. I'm just gonna say that I am favoring Baby significantly in this game. They are cross positions here, so probably will be a more macro-oriented game. Any sort of rush, obviously, will be rather difficult, and this map is pretty large just in general, so it favors macro play. Overall, it is 128 by 128, so probably we'll be seeing some macro game. And you know, checking out Team Liquid, the pro gaming database, you know, they say that there's lies, damn lies, and statistics, and for Baby, that's the truth. The statistics of Baby do not really inform you of how good he really is. He is very, very good player. He's not at like the Flash Bisu Jadong Storka level, certainly, but certainly on the level of, say, a Lita, or somewhere in that range. Maybe a little bit worse than Cal, I'd say. A little bit below Cal, because Cal's in really good form right now. But Baby is basically the ace of his team in most situations, and he's definitely a very, very high quality player. And his statistics don't exactly bear that out, simply because he has been playing for a while where he wasn't very good, where he was developing, where he was getting better. He was a baby. He really was a baby when he started. He was like 13 or something, or 14 when he started. I'm sure he just didn't. He might have actually just, I hate to say it, but he might not have just been smart enough to be playing StarCraft at a high level at that point, not able to take the pressure, not able to just organize everything in his head properly, you know, those kinds of things that when you're young is obviously difficult. But Baby's coming into his own right now, and all of that potential is starting to rise, and he is definitely one of the better players in the game today. For start positions, in case he didn't, well, I guess I didn't say it, but Baby's in the bottom right in yellow, and Frozean's in the top left in red. And Frozean looks like he's going to take the quick expansion right off the bat, one rack straight into Expo. So that is really good for him on this map. Macro map plus cross positions, very, very good for him. And we'll see what Baby decides to do when his expansion comes up. He is going factory first, and he has taken a couple SCVs off of the refinery, so we will see a one factory into expansion for him. A safer build, obviously. A little bit later expansion, but safer. You'll get your vultures out. This is basically what we saw in set 2. Right. Frozean versus Midas, where Midas versus Last, set 1, where Midas went to 1 racks Expo, and Last went with the 1 factory Expo, and Midas definitely came out ahead of that. If he didn't play so poorly with some of his early vultures just being thrown away, really, I think he would have won that game much earlier and much easier, considering the smallness of that map. But this map is bigger, so there's definitely going to be more time for Baby to even up the base count and things like that. There's the command center being laid down for Baby. So yeah, this is just gonna be. I'm just getting this gut feeling that we're gonna spend the first like 7 minutes of this game, 8 minutes of this game, just building expansions. Just getting that little feeling that it's gonna be one of those TVTs where nothing important really happens, or nothing major really happens. They'll just be like little minor skirmishes, but really both players just want to take a lot of bases. That's just getting that feeling here. Don't know if that'll come to truth or not, but just a gut feeling. Don't see the second gas yet for Frozean, so still stockpiling those minerals. And Baby looks like he's got a SCV prepared to build a second factor. There it is. There's the second factory. So he's got the a tank being produced out of that first factory. Probably could be a vulture, but probably a tank being produced, and he'll get that second factory to produce some vultures behind it. Finally, the Maynard coming on for Mr. Baby. And there's the gas, second gas for Frozean. But yeah, overall this is just gonna be, wow. Cross-position TVT is so boring early game. There's just nothing going on. Starport coming up for Frozean, so probably going to be more for dropship play, I would think. We could see rates again from Frozean, just like the game on Fortress, but you know, I would think more dropships would be a little bit better on this map, just because you produce that dropship. So let's say, like, one thing you can do on this map, which is really cool, and he is throwing up a control tower, is you take a 3 vulture and an SCV drop, you drop off an SCV for Frozean would be at the 12 o'clock position, drop off the SCV, take that base, and then go in with the 3 vultures to do a little bit of harassment. Or, actually, I think what might be even more likely is the vultures go out and maraud around, place down some mines, and then get picked up later and dropped into the main, or something like that. And that would be pretty cool for Frozean to do. Pretty common tactic, actually. You've been seen it more than a few times by Terran players in TVT. Scan going off onto Baby's base, so he wanted to see the number of factories, he wanted to see what kind of tech was being thrown on. He sees the 2 factories, sees with the machine shop, so he knows that there's going to be a pretty heavy tank count coming his way, and vulture upgrades would come very, very quickly as soon as he chooses to get them as well. Sorry, I'm saying a lot. And he's also saw the Academy. Siege tanks for Frozean have moved out a little bit, maybe going to try and stop Baby from getting onto his ridge so easily. I don't know if he's really going to have the force number to do that. He only has 2 siege tanks, and there are 2 siege tanks, a marine and a vulture, so with some reinforcing units he'll be able to maybe try and hold off. But it's going to be interesting to see whether he can or not. And there is the SCV being dropped off at the 12 o'clock position to take that base, and a change of this map from last round. I don't know if you guys have been watching enough to notice, but the 12 and 6 o'clock position have double gas now. No, they're not both. That doesn't mean that there's double the total amount of gas. They're not 2 5,000 gas geysers. There's 2 2,500 gas geysers. So you can access your gas more quickly. It just requires more SCVs, drones, probes, whatever, to access it. But you can get a lot of gas very, very quickly. It counts as a double gas expansion because, you know, you want to get the 5,000 gas out of your refinery. You just want to mine as much as you can as fast as possible, and making those double gas expansions certainly aids in that process. We see both players establishing their tank lines, their initial tank lines. Baby taking the advanced position, and Baby does this a lot. Actually, I've seen Baby do this a lot, where he does tend to go for an aggressive stance with his tank line. And this is not the first game either that I've seen him go without any vultures to start off with either. He does tend to go for vultures late, and go for tanks early. It's different. It's different, I would say. Most Terran players choose to go with vultures early, whereas Baby chooses to go with more of a heavy tank play. Obviously, Siege is finished for everyone, and the third base for Frozean has just about completed, so we do see the dropship Maynard, kind of a... Is that a term? What do they call it when... I wonder if there's a term for when you dropship Maynard your SCVs over. I don't know if there is. If there isn't, someone should make one up. Because dropship Maynard is kind of dumb. It's not really... I don't like it. I just don't like it. It doesn't sound very cool. Baby is going to get his third base up as well, but it's going to be later. Once again, his second is later. His third is going to be later. He doesn't have dropships. We did see the starport coming up, but all of his bases are coming up later. So Frozean looking in pretty good shape here overall. Obviously hasn't absorbed any damage yet. He's got the dropship lead. He's got the base lead. And this SCV, perfectly timed SCV, seeing this dropship coming out on the right side, these 2 dropships coming on the right side of the map, and will they be dropping the third? Probably drop off at the third and try and stop that from coming up if it hasn't completed yet. No, it hasn't completed yet. Will they stop the SCV? Yes, they will. So another SCV will have to be brought in to finish that command center, and that is just taking forever for Baby to build, unfortunately. And here comes a drop into the main, behind the mineral lines, actually, and... Looks like Frozean actually choosing to lift those up because there was already a siege tank in position to take down the units being dropped off, so it was going to be very, very ugly for him if he decided to stay. Baby using some tanks here defensively at his third to make sure that it does get produced. Some Goliaths in the area, picking out a couple of the dropships. Not able to do too much, and Baby building building some missile turrets here at the top of the map, maybe trying to catch these dropships as they're heading home. Could be very, very cool. Could be a fantastic play by Baby if he's able to do that. And Frozean dropping off his units just at like the perfect time, and before that turret could really start killing off dropship. So he's got this force out there now that even though he was contained technically, he's used his dropship force to bring these units out. So now he's got a secondary force that's just able to be a threat to Baby at this moment. And so Baby's gonna have to deal with it. He's gonna have to allocate some troops to fight it, which he has done with these 3 siege tanks. And it looks like he's actually brought in a couple more siege tanks as well. And Frozean actually bringing in 4 dropships now. 4 dropships. So now we're starting to develop for Frozean a very highly mobile force with these dropships. And Wraith coming in here, going to pick off one of the dropships. Will they get the second? No, he's going to retreat right now because Goliaths are being dropped off at the high ground and would have been able to pick him off. So we'll probably see maybe